Hey traders, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex every Thursday, featured by Trading Analysis. As usual, we will go a little bit over macro environment and we will dive into a latest development into a crypto space. You know that we covered that extensively, especially on the Bitcoin and Ether. So I hope you are all good and fine. Post your questions and potential some charts or some crypto currencies that you would like me to see for you, which we are going to do a little bit later. So let's start and let's dive in. Let's go first over a little bit of a macro environment and what's going on in the general picture of the world. Let me just go, nothing much on the news today. I usually open up this CoinDesk news, which are good for the, in general, crypto news. We have seen a lot of news regarding the Bitcoin. We have also seen that 200 companies in the United States are endangered with this virus regarding their data, and that let's say hackers are wanting to be paid in a Bitcoin. We have also seen some of the less slightly negative sentiment towards cryptos in the last week. Also, I have to remind you that the German funds are now able to participate in the crypto space. That's also a good news, but for now we don't see any additional inflows from the large investors. As we were kind of addressing this couple of months ago, we were announcing a potential crypto winter, which I think it's still on. I don't expect any fierce recoveries, and I will get the levels for you later. So I will not spend much on the news. We still have XRP court case ongoing. Not much on the regulation on the cryptos. We have seen also the Binance ban from UK and also from Montreal, I think, was one province in Canada. So a little bit more pressure on the crypto space. We also have seen a DeFi space and DeFi connected cryptos like Aave, Compound, and Celsius going up, and I think that's because of the falling yields. And in general, we have to talk a little bit about the current COVID situation, and I think that's also one of the reasons that the DeFi space was going up a little bit, because if we from September starts to see more COVID lockdowns, that will be a little bit more deflationary environment, and we might see governments, especially Fed and ECB, kind of back down a little bit on this inflationary narrative, and that will be definitely positive for cryptos. But let's see what will happen. For now, we just see a partial lockdown in Australia and some other countries. Nothing serious, but we have seen some cases rise in Russia and also in some parts of the world, especially from this new variants of COVID. So as I see, a lot of countries are kind of scared what is going to happen in September, October, when we actually finish the summer and starts to function in a more kind of autumn-winter regime. So let's stay to be kind of open to see what is going on. I'm going to show you a 10-year yield. So this is the US 10-year yield. We are seeing a break a little bit down of this last support and also a break of this kind of a corrective channel. We are going a little bit more impulsively to the downside. Next support is around 1.17, which we are close to. As you can notice, the RSI on daily is pretty much down, hitting 29. So I'm curious to see, are these going to unfold in some type of a complex correction, potentially down to this next support in the next couple of months, around 1%. So we will see that. For now, I don't see this development fully in a five-wave manner. So if I see this developing something like this, definitely this will mean that we might see a small pullback and then a further move down in yield. So for now, we don't have that. We have some type of a three-wave move, and we cannot build much of the analysis still on it. We can just look the support and potential resistance levels, which are around 2%. So I think potentially we might fluctuate around these two levels in the last couple of months, and we will track that for you. And I think 10-year yields are very important chart for everything that is going now in the world. So if you are serious about some macro and how that can affect some other asset classes, definitely you should look developments in the US 10-year yields. On the European front, I usually look the price chart of the 10-year Bund. So this is an inverse chart of the yields in Europe, especially on a German 10-year chart. So it's basically the same chart, just inverted, but the wave count is a little bit better than when I look the yield. So again, we are seeing move up on the price, which means that the yields in Europe or in Germany, let's say, are moving lower. And that's exactly what we were expecting. We are looking for potentially a triangle consolidation here in some type of a fourth wave, and then a further when potentially economy balances itself, or if we drop in some more extensive COVID crisis again, this will be just a consolidation, and we might continue to build in a deflationary narrative after this sideways consolidation is actually done. One of the possible scenarios is that this is some type of a WXY, and we get a little bit more on the downside towards this support level, but there is no any signs here that this chart will turn bearish on price and bullish on yields. For now, there is only 3 waves down. So I think our beginning scenario will start to unfold more and more, that this inflationary scare will be a temporary nature, and that in a year or maybe year and a half, depends on a COVID, this consolidation will finish, and then we are going to see a kind of a more stronger deflationary forces with the technology and demographics kicks in again and actually produces this final fifth wave on the upside, which will be definitely good for gold and a Bitcoin going onward. And it kind of rhymes with our prediction what will happen with the Bitcoin. So let's look some of the macro elements further. So let's look the dollar index chart. We were looking that for the last week, and we were looking for a move on the upside, which actually unfolded in this potential 5-wave move. I don't know if this fifth wave is still over, or we're going to have one more push towards this 93.47 level. But the whole structure from the COVID start in March 2020 on DXY, we are looking as a potentially completed 5-wave move with a small truncation. And this is the event which we look in the Elliott wave world as a relatively rare one, but it's kind of a still understandable one when you have a currency devaluate or decrease in value for 1 year in a number of 14-15%. It was a very small truncation. Truncation means that we didn't see a low, a final low here. It stopped before and then it reversed on the upside. So there is also some other possibilities, but I like to keep this one looking the overall commodity spectrum and also Bitcoin and gold. So I will keep this 5-wave move labeled as a A wave with potentially a little bit more upside. If not, we are still going to go in a B wave with the support around 92.52 or a little bit below. So we can put some fib ratios here, usually around 61.8 or 50% retracement in the B wave, and then I expect a further strength in a dollar towards the end of 2021, potentially from September up to this, let's say, 95, 96 levels, where two key ratios are. We can still not go for equality or a measured move because we don't know in what form or variance the B wave will develop. But in general, I will still follow this wave count and kind of a look for end of this dollar bull run some around the end of November, December 2021. You have to also consider that we are trading in the summer trading months, so the volumes on the FX is a little bit slower. We do travel a little bit more, and people are going to vacation, and I see that in my country, and especially in the United States, the airlines start flying, the travel companies are start working, so people are going on vacations, and that will result with a smaller liquidity. And across the desk in the institutional banks, everybody knows that summer trading is a little bit of a trickier one with the lower volumes until end of the August and September. If we look a little bit of a commodity spectrum, I will just show you that this also rhymes with the moves and the possible prediction for the moves in dollar. Wheat is also moving to the downside, and I have potentially this X wave development here. On this chart, we are moving lower. Also, we do that in soybean, which went pretty much on the upside during the COVID crisis. So we are still in this potential one or the other form of the corrective fourth wave, which agrees actually with the dollar move because they work in the inverse correlation. By doing this, I'm trying to figure out the overall picture, macro picture, and how that can, in some variance, influence the crypto market, as you know. And up to now, our macro analysis was pretty much spot on, and we are going to continue to look for this type of developments. Also, copper is still kind of a trading in the range, moving down from this potential 5-wave development already finished. So we are also looking for a corrective pullback. So in general, we will say that the dollar move up is pushing commodities down. Yields are moving lower, which will affect, and it is affecting a little bit moves up on the stock market, especially growth versus value. And we track that in trading analysis. As you know, Todd, Bennett, and Terry are doing a wonderful job covering the stocks while I'm covering the cryptos and FX. Okay, so let's start and let's see what's going on the crypto space. As usual, we are going to start with the Bitcoin and the overall outlook. I think I'm repeating that over and over just to remind you guys. But you know our overall setup, we are still looking this as a corrective move. And from these lows in December 2018, we count this as a potential 5-wave move, a corrective move downside in a wave 2, relatively nice and very straightforward 5-wave move in the green wave 3, and we are treating this still as a corrective pullback. And we have some tools how we can measure this corrective pullback in the sense of a duration by time and by a potential pattern, how it will unfold. We are looking this now because we have seen a potential 5-wave sequence here as a wave A to the downside. We are expecting a wave B on the upside, and we are then after this correction, we are expecting a further move lower towards some of these two time designations which we have for a potential lows in a Bitcoin that will be around end of October and potentially beginning of January 2022. December and January, if you look back, was a pretty strong month always in a Bitcoin reversals. You can also search a longer term charts and look for that. So it has some sense also that this equality between time elapsed in this correction and matching with this one might be the same, or we might get also some bigger triangle or some complex correction in an ABC, X, ABC, even going to July 2020. But I don't think so. We are not seeing that expansion in this pattern for now. So we're going to stick and keep it simple for a 5-wave move down in A, up in B, down in C. Maybe this A wave still not finished. I'm going to show you that on a smaller time frame. But in general, this is our overall outlook on the higher time frame, how the Bitcoin correction will plays out, and when potentially this support level might hold. So we also have a 38.2% retracement, which is a usual one for the fourth wave pullback. And we also have a potential equality, which we're gonna kind of pinpoint better when we have a B wave completed on the upside. So the same thing goes for Ether. As you can see, cryptos are moving relatively pretty much today on the downside. So Ether is on the same situation, and on the higher time frame, we are looking for basically the same scenarios for this fourth wave pullback. Let me just fix this. Sometimes multi-wave do something by itself, which is fine. It's our preferred and most the best of the platform for the eliticians. So it's incredible what this software can do for us. So 5 waves up in a wave 1, pullback in a wave 2, pretty similar with the Bitcoin. I mean, they had so far a pretty good number of correlation coefficient. So we are still going to look some type or a form of this corrective pattern in Ether as well, trying to match this with these time ratios and 38% retracement. Basically same in a Bitcoin. I'm a little bit unclear regarding the pattern yet. I think this is going to be a little bit more complex pattern than in Bitcoin, because from this move on the upside, we have seen some distortion regarding the high correlation number. So Ether was moving much on the upside than Bitcoin. So we have seen this move on the upside going further. And thus, I think this corrective path might outplay a little bit differently. I'm going to show you on a smaller time frame. But in general, our overall view on the higher time frames will stay within this corrective pullback, either a triangle, which will be a little bit of less price movement to the downside, but in general, support is very visible. We have a support around 1,620 or 70, sorry, and the next one is marked with this blue line around from 1,000 to 1,200, 1,300, which is relatively clear to everybody who looks support and the resistance levels towards the pattern in the Elliott wave world. I'm going to show you what I think is going on here on a smaller time frame. I forgot to show you one thing which we also track, and that is a Bitcoin dominance chart, where we have seen potentially over, and that was actually outplaying of alts in regards of the Bitcoin in the last couple of days, especially of the DeFi space. So in general, we are looking for a 5-wave move development, a little bit more upside edge, let me say, alts over the Bitcoin. I will look for 36.12 for this 5-wave pattern to finish. ABC potentially over. Triangle, I think it's less likely because the wave 2 was not so big. So I mean, it can be, but for now, I'm more going to look for a directional move to the downside, at least until these resistance levels hold. Wave count invalidation is at 60, but this is for now very visible 3-wave pattern. So I think it's a corrective, and we can label it as potentially some form of the 4th wave, either finished or maybe a little bit more complex, but I don't think so. I think this will finish pretty much directionally to the downside, which will benefit to some extent altcoins over Bitcoin. But when we come down to this level, I'm afraid that Bitcoin will dominate for at least a couple of weeks this kind of a spectrum towards let's say relation. I don't think this relation will stay, and that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to define it, because I think altcoins first is not the proper name, because the Bitcoin is a project which was basically founded as a currency. And we have seen on these other projects, they have a real usable application, especially in DeFi space, of building infrastructure in the blockchain technology and the blockchain space. And I don't think they're so comparable. And also, I'm going to look for a disconnect between the Bitcoin and some very valuable infrastructure projects regarding the price. I would really like to see that Bitcoin price doesn't influence that much once when we grow into a market cap. Some of these valuable projects which will build the future infrastructure of the blockchain space. Okay, so back to charts. Let's look the smaller time frame. I forgot gold, so let me just back a little bit. There is so many stuff. It's luckily I can remind myself. So gold in the same situation. We are still looking for the X wave. It goes a little bit with the dollar. Maybe this is some type also as a triangle. Definitely we have some type of a 5-wave move from this X wave. So we might form some type of an ABCX. So this might kind of morph into a triangle, or this will be just a 3-wave pullback and then a further continuation towards the end of the year in gold. So in general, I was showing you the gold because it fits in the overall macro scenario that we are looking. So that was the whole purpose of the gold chart. So let me just look, where is my chart for the smaller time frame? This is the Ether. So let's look on a smaller time frame, what's going on a Bitcoin. So I have posted this for my members in the last couple of days. Let me just be clear of one thing. I'm not even trying to see any lows on a Bitcoin while we trade between these two support and resistance levels. Sorry, this should be blue. Just for a support level, so I will just mark it like this here. As you can see, we are trading pretty much sideways from already a month, even more, 2 months, with no extension of the price on the upside in a Bitcoin. And I'm afraid if this is finished, as I think it's going to finish in this corrective pullback, if we don't trace out the ending diagonal here, I think this will be a clear sign that we are going to see a second leg in the cryptos lower. And why I'm telling you this? I'm telling you this because even if this is some type of a longer term low, we should see a clear 5-wave sequence on the upside, which is actually telling us that potentially either we're going to have a higher ABC or this is a new trend developing on the upside. And we didn't see that. So in the Elliott wave world, 3-wave move is a corrective move. So what is this is telling us that if we don't trace an ending diagonal, which I will show you just a little bit after this, this is already announcing us that we're going to have a second leg down. So in my book and in my opinion, I'm not even looking for any sizable lows in a Bitcoin yet. Actually, this tells me, especially if I get this move on the upside, that the very strong resistance area is around from 40 to 42K. And this is all of the wave structure here, as I look at it now, is telling to me that we are going to have a second leg down. So I will not even imagine of putting any longs except of a shorter term, kind of a one-day trade. When I see this, and you can ask any kind of a proficient Elliottian or people which are applying this methodology, what this type of developments actually means. So if I don't see any move on the upside in the A, down in B, up in C, I will go for the ending diagonal, which I will show you now, which is also one of the finishing structures. And that will actually look like this, which will maybe deploy or kind of trace out a little bit more downside levels in a Bitcoin. So this will be something like wave 1 up into down in 3, a very nice corrective pullback, although a very complex one in a wave 4. And we are now moving to the other ratio, which we usually look for the Bitcoin for the fifth wave lows. We have several of them. That will be this one, which is around 25K 665. The other one was here, which we actually announced before this move on the upside, is 38.2% in this relation. We can also put here equality of the wave 1 and wave 5, which actually was here. So either this was a low, we're going to see a move that I already showed you towards 40K. If this is an ending diagonal, it will unfold like this. So this will be a 3-wave down in 1, up in 2, and we are already in a wave 3, which should be shorter than wave 1. So lots of guys, when they are trying to display the ending diagonal stuff, they have to be aware that ending diagonals has a specific rules built into it. Okay, so there is a very clear relation regarding especially contracting variety of the ending diagonal. Wave 3 cannot be longer than a wave 1, and the wave 5 cannot be longer than a wave 3. So having said that, we already can pinpoint some of the crucial levels, and that will be this one. 3 versus 1 are equal around 2560, so it is here. Usually what you get is this 0.618. This support should hold, and this will be the ABC move here. So down to these levels, then we should see a bounce in a fourth wave, and then a final push down in this fifth wave, which will mark actually the end of whole of this move to the downside, and then we'll take it from there. So if we trace out an ending diagonal, picture might change, but until I see it, I'm not going to go into a further analysis while the situation is still unclear. So let me just do one more ratio here, and this ratio tells us that we should not see the wave 5 if the wave 3 stops here, go further below 24,147. But we can basically structure that when we have this wave 4 completed. So this is just a kind of an example how this relation works in the Elliott wave world, especially when you are dealing with the contracting variety of the ending diagonal, and expanding variety has reverse rules. Wave 1 is the shortest, wave 3 should be in the middle, longer than wave 1, and wave 5 should be the longest wave in the expanding variety of the ending diagonal. So this is the scenario I'm going to look for now. We have reached equality here, and we are already bouncing. If I see a 5-wave move from here, that will actually mark the wave A of the second part of this Y wave. So the first part was this one. We had a move up in a 5 waves in A, flat in B, up in C, up to these levels. This is we can subdivide this also in a complex. It was possible that this was kind of developing into a triangle, but we invalidate that. So this is an ABC down in W, up in X, down in Y. So if we stop here and start to develop a 5-wave move on a smaller time frame, we might even look for some small entries because the risk is very defined here. For this move up towards the 37, 38K, pullback in a B wave, and a final push up in a C wave, and then equality will actually match with 50% retracement and the B wave resistance levels which we are looking. So it will be a perfect scenario for a possible hold and then a continuation of the downward move towards our target on the Bitcoin. So let me just look Ether, and then I will address your requests. So Ether on a smaller time frame, as I said, is a little bit different. Let me just find Ether here. Where is Ether? Okay, it's here on a smaller time frame. So Ether on a smaller time frame, it's developing a little bit differently. So I have it like this. I have also alternative scenarios. 5 waves down, and this was maybe wave A. or some type of a triangle for the wave B move down in a wave C. So I'm looking this intermediate wave structure as a potential flat. So 5 waves up in A, B, C. So there is a 5 wave move to the downside. So I think this support should hold around 2K. And then maybe we are going to see as well, if the Bitcoin holds, a little bit more upside price action in a 5 wave move. As you can see, it's a little bit different than Bitcoin. Alternatively, this flat might move further lower as the Bitcoin drops in a potential ending diagonal, but more or less the levels fluctuate between 1,800 to 2,000. So we will see how this will develop. 5 wave move from these support levels will definitely mean that probability will grow that we will go to these higher levels about next resistance, which comes from 2,600 to 2,800, from where I think we're going to have another drop in Ether towards this, or maybe even a triangle formation in X, and then a further move down towards the end of the year with the Bitcoin towards our support level, which goes around 1,300, or in a case of a triangle, it will be around 1,600, 1,700. We cannot know that in this moment, but definitely this will be welcomed by me, because I will look to buy a longer term hold on Ether around these levels. Just to show you some others, ADA, as you know, we like ADA at Trading Analysis very much. Still in a corrective pullback. Matic as well, they're holding very well. They are not losing much of their mojo, which I like very much. We have also seen a move up in AVE, which we are still looking to be in a corrective sequence. I still don't see a 5 wave move on the upside, so I'm waiting the development. But looking at the Bitcoin development, I have to stay a little bit more bearish towards this level on the downside after this potential move up completes. Some of the things which I can show you also, we have seen move up in SNX, XRP the same, nothing in particular. I have seen also compound moving up, but still this doesn't qualify yet as a 5 wave sequence on the compound, so I'm still going to wait for the further development. Binance coin still in a correction, so pretty much the things unfolds as we were looking for a couple of months ago, announcing this crypto winter, and we are continuing to track in order to clearly define these patterns, which I think on a Bitcoin are the most clearer ones. As you can look the spectrum, because the price action on the other ones are a little bit more sideways than on Bitcoin. So Anchor, Adnan, hello Adnan. Okay, we will look your requests. What I can show you more, guys. Let me just look at this alternative scenario I think we have on a Bitcoin is this one. It will be a little bit more bearish. In the case our levels do not hold, of course we will start to buy it very carefully here, and then on confirmation we will add up, not before. My secondary scenario on a Bitcoin is this. If you look this trend line, and this is a little bit more different wave count. This is the fourth wave depicted as a triangle with the E wave being very short. Nothing wrong with that from the Elliott wave perspective. But in general, I don't like these short E waves. They're very rare. So I will take a little bit of this wave count with a grain of salt. But I need to have it because of the kind of a diverse variety of patterns that might unfold. But in that case, the lower trend line in a Bitcoin might be around 10 to 13K. So this is my alternative scenario, because this trend line from 2014 was capturing very well these highs, and we also was flagging this RSI much before than it happened, and you can look my Twitter feed. We were announcing this and kind of send a warning just maybe even 2 months before this happened. So and that got only 1 like, which is amazing. So yeah, so this is my alternate scenario. So this lower level and this support level, which will definitely will hold if we see something more exuberant on the downside in a Bitcoin. So all of this area on this higher time frame will be a support zone. So it will match with this trend line and this RSI around this 10 to 15K on the Bitcoin. So if we surpass that, then I will be very worried regarding the Bitcoin future. Okay, so as long as we trade in this kind of above this support area in some form or the other, I'm a pretty relaxed labeling this as a fourth wave. But if we drop below this, that will definitely make me worry what will happen with the Bitcoin next. Okay, so we have a general outlook and we will keep it until it unfolds as we think it's going to. Okay, so let me look some of your requests regarding that. Let me just greet everybody. So there is a lot of stuff, so sorry not to address you a little bit earlier. There is lots of information to pass. One more thing, if you want to visit our work in trading analysis, especially regarding cryptos, we have a great offering for the people which want to have a viable strategy trading cryptos professionally. So we do that in trading analysis. We don't jump into trades. We don't do much of a daily trading. We are more of a swing and a position trading, and with a very strict risk, and we keep your capital safe. We also have a very nice community in a Discord channel. We have a cryptocurrency repository, trading analysis app, weekly webinars with analysis on all of cryptos, crypto chart room, and additional strategy videos. So if you like to be with us, have a longer term, if you have a longer term outlook on cryptos, you can maybe check us out, because we offer stable a kind of a stable variance in your risk management, so it's not going to fluctuate much. Overall, I think our loss on the bigger frames around 6 months or 8 was the biggest one was 1%, I think, overall. So we had also one of the years gaining trading correction around 30% in a swing trading, and this is all documented. We have a very transparent trading, and we also have very transparent before our members everything what we do. Okay, so I'm going to announce one thing. I'm going to do one I'm going to do one webinar which will be designated, and it's going to be a public. I don't know if it's going to cost something, and if it costs something, it's going to be very small. It's going to be on a crypto trading strategies and timeframes. So I think that will be very useful for the crypto community, which is pretty young. And I had 10-15 years in trading, and I have been through ups and downs. You can not imagine, like every trader facing with losses, facing with wrong risk, facing with the wrong wave counts. You can name it. I have been through all of that until I reached my level of sustainability and then progress on the upside. I also traded in a big amounts for one international bank for a number of years. So my experience is pretty much vast in trading and in Elliott Wave, and I want to pass that for these new members of the crypto community, so they can have a little bit of visibility how they should manage their trading on a smaller time frames, because guys, this is deadly. I mean, statistics shows that 90 to 95% of traders on a shorter term basis are gonna end up sooner or later with the burned accounts. I mean, I've been through that also. So until I learned, so that's a kind of a common thing. So probably this webinar will be structured until the end of this month. So you can keep the track if you're interested to participate in that. We will announce that also in a Crypto Lab. And okay, so let me look some of your requests there. Let me see. Hey, William, how are you? Anatoly. Hey, Anatoly. You want to look Alpha and Lena. Okay. Adnan, you want to look Anchor. Oh, not lots of requests. What's going on, guys? I've seen also Wilson requesting Matic Solana. Okay, so potentially lots of viewers are on vacation, I guess. Okay, so let me start to look some of the things that you requested. I'm going to use this package for some others because I don't have everything on my motive wave. I have Matic and Solana, so I can look that a little bit afterwards. Lena, I don't know if I have Lena there. Do you meant Luna or Lena? Linear dollar, okay. Yeah, we were looking at that before. We were actually anticipating a move lower, which even went further. It must have been some time that we didn't look this Lena. So for now, five-way move is done, as you can see here. So here we can look this as a potential corrective pullback to the downside. It still doesn't, I mean, it reminds a little bit as a five-way move, but I will wait with that. So my best guess for this one, I definitely still not see a five-way move on the upside. So I'm not the guy which tries to catch the lows, guys. So I'm waiting for a little bit of confirmation. Sometimes I do that, but when I'm really have the matching of my Elliott wave counts, a very thick Fibonacci zone and the RSI, but usually I'm waiting for a five-wave pullback. So I don't see nothing bullish yet here. I just see a three-wave move. If I see a five-wave move here, I will look for an ABC move, and then if the C wave starts to be elongated, I will transform that in a five-wave move, which will definitely be bullish. But for now, I don't see anything announcing here that this is finished. In general, we can look this as some type of potential WXY. Oh, sorry, this is a complex one. So I just want to take this as a potential W, maybe flat in X and down in Y. So I don't see anything bullish yet here. We might also complete this, but I want to see a five-way move. And so until I don't see that, I'm going to stay with the possible corrective continuation down to lower levels if I look the other cryptos also to go lower in the next couple of weeks or even months or two. So for now, I will deal with this chart like that. Let me look for some others. I saw something, ICP. Yeah, Seb, let's look ICP. Yeah, so here we were looking this as an ABC development. It's still ongoing. This is a very bearish chart for now. As you can see, we looked for a, we can just shift B wave here because this was a 335. And we're going to look for some lower levels here, or maybe even this is an A, B, C, D, E. So we can also define this as a probable triangle here. We definitely see a five-way move from lows, which is good, which is implying that potentially we might see a measured move, at least from this level on the downside. Okay, so also the RSI confirms that. So if we take some of the fib ratios, and look where this can go from this Elliott wave perspective, a little bit lower, we might finish the C wave, and then potentially there is also one more ratio there, which is equality. But I usually look this 0.618. This RSI maybe implies that if it goes a little bit lower, let it be. But in general, this will imply that this might stage a relatively nice reversal on the upside in this potential measured move, which means that after this three-wave move completes, we might have one more push on the upside. So be aware that, as I said, especially when I have a downtrend or uptrend, it doesn't matter, I will always consider this to be first as an ABC, and then if this C passes a measured move and starts to break this channel and the quality levels, I will transform it in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then become very bullish. Okay, so for now I'm going to look this as an ABC on a smaller time frame, 5 waves up, 3-wave pullback, and somewhere around these levels I will look for potential signs we might continue on the upside. Okay, so let me look Matic, one of my favorites. I like Matic project very much. Let's look Matic. Nothing much sideways, as you can see here. ABC, maybe this can kind of morph into ending diagonal, but I don't think so. I will be very happy to see Matic to trend around this 38% retracement. Overall, chart is very bullish. There is a wave 1 and 2, and then secondary 1 and 2, which is usually a very bullish one. We have seen a wave 3 and character of the wave 3 developing above this base channel. We have a small kiss on this fourth wave, and then we came bullish for our members up to this level, which we exited on the members webinar, and our members was very happy. Of course, this was a monstrous run on this log scale, but I'm still going to look this either as a triangle or as an ABC to the downside, and I will be very happy to see Matic trading around 0.33 because I will start buying that in anticipation, and especially if I see 5 waves up and a pullback, I will be greatly happy to add for the further continuation on the upside. I don't think that the bull run is dead. I'm looking this in one form or the other as a corrective pullback. It's still not, although clear, in which type of pattern we will complete. Either this support will hold, will trace out some type of a triangle, or we're gonna go below it and kind of go into a previous fourth wave, 38% retracement, equality here between A, triangle B down in C, and that will be potentially the midterm to longer term low in Matic. Let me see alpha. Do I have alpha here? I don't think so. So let me look here. Alpha. Yeah, we were looking for some type of a wave 4. Also, the chart we didn't revisit very much. And I think we have to change this for a simple reason. Because this was a 5-wave move, so this also can be a flat, so I will not be sure that this is finished, and this is already too long to be a 4th wave. So we have to make little adjustments here, where I will classify this as a complete 5-wave move, something like this, with a possible small truncation. This is an ABC, and I want to see a 5-wave move, or we're going to see a deeper correction. Okay, so it's still not clear if this is an X wave or a little bit higher, and then we will see a Y wave, and this will be a wave 1, wave 2, and then we can go on the upside. So we don't still see a 5-wave move here. I will wait the next week. Otherwise, this can be just an ABC, and we will go 5 waves up, 3 waves down, and then the alpha is open to continue on the upside. So you can never know. I mean, you have to kind of play with patterns. But for now, I will still stay bearish until I see clearly a signs that this is a 5-wave move trading around 2.1. And then I will look for a correction and the potential buy levels for the further continuation. So it's still not clear. This doesn't mean anything. It can, if cryptos go a little bit more upside, then Bitcoin crashes to 20K, this can finish in a new low. So I'm not taking anything for granted, and this still doesn't mean anything. Okay. Okay, let me look for Solana, and we can wrap it up. 15 minutes already. Solana is in some type of a consolidation. We also look this as a possible triangle. in an A, down in B, up in C, D, and E. So much probably this is some type of a corrective move in Solana. 5 waves up, 3 waves down. So potentially either leading diagonal or W, X, Y. So in one form or the other, I still think, but as it looks now, with this sideways price action, that Solana is some type of a B-wave triangle, and we're going to finish lower. So just a second, guys. Let me just look. Yeah, fear. Okay, I'm just looking these charts which are vanished. Fear protocol. Okay, so let's look this. Oh, I never looked this chart, and it doesn't look good. I will tell you that immediately. So 5 waves up. Okay, so that's fine. Or A wave. So B wave is still not finished. So let me just taking the ABC and okay. So 3 waves down, 3 waves up. So there is no sign of this having its lows. So there is a couple of possibilities here. WXY, it's one of which will usually look. So this was an X wave. Y wave will finish somewhere around lower. So this will be actually first part of the secondary zigzag in the 5 waves down in A, up in B, down in C. Or another possibility here is that this X wave actually morphs into some type of a triangle here, like this. And we actually take some time. This will be 3 waves down, and then A, B, C, D, E, and an X wave, a small push to a new low, which will mark a possible completion of this correction, and then further move on the upside. So nothing bullish here yet. We don't see a 5-wave move. The current corrective pullback still implies a further lower level. We can get a little bit more upside, but nothing bullish here, guys. Also, RSI on 4-hour, and I guess on daily is pretty much close. No, on daily is on the middle, which might imply a little bit more upside in this secondary X wave. So nothing bullish here yet. Okay. I think we already looked Anchor. Yeah, Anchor is still in correction. So I'm looking for some type of a 4th wave pullback. If this proves to be a 5-wave move and completion on this 4th wave, I will move 4th wave here. But I need to see a 5-wave move up. So I don't see that. A daily chart of what? Anchor. Yeah, same thing. Either a triangle or a 4th wave, so still nothing bullish there. Same thing. Okay, guys, so thank you on the attention. Thank you for being with us. Click the like button for us. It will help our content to move up for other viewers. We appreciate that if you can do that for us. Visit Trading Analysis website. Join us for a trial membership if you are a serious crypto analyst, trader, or enthusiastic guy. We can provide you with the environment that you can feel safe, and you cannot be worried of buying the dips where is not the time to buy. So in general, that will be all for this edition, and see you guys next Thursday. In the meantime, you can also find me on my Twitter feed, where I regularly post the latest outlook. And see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.